G'day everyone, Bravo here, and we're back playing Syndicate 1993. So we've taken over most of Europe and a huge chunk of Russia, and now we're going to go and have a look at Kamchatka and probably the Far East. We might have time, we might not, we'll see. So this one's a bit tricky because we've got an assassination. One of our politician friends has started to refuse our normal and courteous requests. It's extremely bad form and it's just not tolerable. In order to restore the status quo and make an example of him, we've decided to kill his good lady wife. Squad's going to be deployed in the docks of a floating city where it is believed she spends most of her time. We have been unable to find her location, but we do know her whereabouts of a likely informer. He may require some persuasion. So if you just read the first page, you go, cool, assassination, all I need is guns. You read the second page and we need persuasion. I'm not going to buy more info at the moment because I'm still building up. When I am at the point where I have all 4 agents fully equipped, then I will probably start buying extra information and all that sort of thing. We've got arms V2. I want legs V2 as well. And let's have a look at what we're researching. I want to research more mods. Let's have a look at heart. Yep, heart V2. That should be fine, and we'll probably finish the research by the time we've done the mission. So this one's gonna be fairly, we're gonna act pretty quickly off the bat. Kick in and go straight away, because we're not the only team in here for an assassination. Okay, now being aware that when we move our camera around, we're not using WASD because the self-destruct button is D. Don't do that. It's worth being aware on this map, don't hang about too close to the fences, because if you get shot over the fence, through the fence, you will drown. It's an insta-death situation. And they've gone around the other side of the building, so I'm going to go on the attack for a change. There's some guys down here too. Let's see. Cool. Let's keep running. That's just going to make our job a little easier at the end of the level. This is an evacuate one. But we need to get here pretty quickly. This is the guy we need to persuade, standing right here. And the problem is that bad guys come and try and prevent him from being persuaded. The easiest way to prevent someone being persuaded is to end them. I'm tempted to go on the attack again. Let's see. Because 2 enemy agents will come for him. One comes from up here, just there, and the other comes from down here, just there. And I don't want to be near the fence, and this guy's coming up first, so let's get him first. And now here comes the other one. Cool, gone away. Let everything reset for a bit. Because the rest of the enemy agents will be sort of heading down this way. So we cut off a few, but most of them sort of make their way down to these buildings here. Because they sort of ambush us as we're evacuating. It's really nice of them. So we're going to go get our guy who's going to guide us to our goal. Now, I'm not going to wait for this guy. Once I get onto this road after I've persuaded him, I'm going to just go straight line to where I need to assassinate our politician buddy's wife, which is pretty harsh, to be honest. I don't think we're the good guys in this. I'm not sure. We might not be the worst guys, but I don't think we're the good guys. And I don't think the game gives the impression that we're the good guys. Now, I mentioned last video, I think it was, that I was going to look into getting a hold of the, I think it was 2012 version of Syndicate. Now, the problem is, if you haven't worked out yet, I live in Australia. And if you've also done a little bit of research, you might have discovered that this game, the newer version of this was not released in Australia. It was banned. It was refused classification. So getting a hold of it is actually slightly legally not the done thing. Now, there's no cars in this level, so once we're on this straight road, I'm going to go straight line to the end, and I will probably leave this guy behind a little bit. Mainly because I don't want him shot and killed. If he is shot and killed, that impacts my ability to finish the mission. Just like if I try to move the camera using WASD, it impacts my ability to finish the mission, because it would just kill me. Alright, so the person we are assassinating is in this building up here, so we look at the map and it's radiating from there. There are several guards in there. That's worth noting, so I'm going to pull out my Uzi, not my minigun, and I'm going to slowly work my way closer. And I'm going to do so a little bit more quickly because I don't want this dude shot. There we go. Someone's on fire. Who's on fire? Hopefully no one who's our friend. Shotgun, shotgun. Nothing we want. The shotguns are dangerous. Charging in there was dangerous. That was a poor decision on my part. But we lived, so off we go. Now we're evacuating, so heading back to our starting point. So I'm going to probably put everything away and reset for a little minute. Just a little minute, not long. And let's see. Like, this is a pretty long mission. We are approaching the 10-minute mark, so I might call it after this mission and do the Far East next video. Mainly because my own attention span's about 10 minutes. I don't want to push anyone watching beyond my own attention span. That would be a bit harsh. Just keeping an eye out for where the enemy agents are hanging out. Now, from memory, most of them are hanging out in this building, any that I haven't already got anyway. So it's nearly time to switch to... Where's my dude? There he is. Coming, slowly. Maybe I'll stop and make him catch up for a sec. There you go. And... this is where we want to get to, and I think the enemy agents are in here. This is where it would be handy to have more than one agent. You could sort of divide and conquer. So it was fairly straightforward doing this with one agent. Or one dude. There they are. And they're all just gathered here, which is fine. Alright. So you could just sort of camp this location with the other 3 agents and take everyone out as they appear. Or you could send 1 agent to go and persuade, and rather than risk our little dude, this guy, you could actually send a couple of agents up to the northern end to do the assassination. Lots of options, but if you've only got the 1 agent to do all of the jobs, good luck. Alrighty. We have crossed the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Spacebar. Welcome to the dawning of a new era. Empire. There we go. And research on Heart V2 is completed. Excellent. Now let's have a look at the next mission. What is it? Far East. Now shouldn't take us too long. Reconnaissance, primary step towards taking over a city. Recon patrol, we're going to be landed at the docks, and we're going to secure the beachhead and conduct a sweep of the surrounding area. Any enemy syndicate forces you encounter must be eliminated, so it's essentially a combat sweep. I could buy more info, but I still would prefer this little bank to go ahead. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Go for broke. Why not? I think I'll still stick with 1 agent for now until we're all fitted out. Just sort of to get all good. Let's go brain. And that'll be good. That's good. And let's go. If it turns out this mission is terrible, I might decide to just quit for the day. Alright. I do not remember this one. What are we doing? So let's hang out. I'm going to listen out to the music, which you can probably also hear through the microphone. I've got a nice new microphone. Hopefully the sound quality is better. Whoops. That was nearly bad. Keep an eye on the radar. One of them hit their self-destruct buttons. That's okay. Whew. So this is why the new version was not released in Australia, because with the upgraded graphics, this kind of stuff looks really, really intense. Okay, so that person had enemy agents have Uzis. That's not too bad. I'm not worried. I will put my gun away. There is a police car, which possibly means a free minigun. I'm going to start walking down towards these yellow hats, which is just a little bit south. There's a lot of them. Where do they come down? Right next to me. I'm going to stick to the ground, because if you get shot down from a height, especially like here, you're landing in the water. There we go. Alright. They're starting to come. Cool. That's right. And that's another one of them. So if you hit D, that's what happens to you. You explode. It's horrific. But yeah. So this sort of fairly violent nature of the deaths is what the Australian authorities decided to use as a justification for denying classification. So as a result, you cannot get the updated version of Syndicate in And I mean, whether you agree with that or not, that's I guess neither here nor there really, because ultimately we don't have it. I'm gonna run away. Because I'm getting shot quite a bit. Okay, that was silly. Yep. That was me being impatient. So this is the cutscene if you fail. They don't like it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to end the video here, and we're going to kick off with the Far East next time. So I'll load the save game, which means having to redo. This is why you should save after every level. So it means I have to redo Kamchatka. Yep. So I'll redo that mission, and then have another crack at Far East. So I'll pick up from Far East next time. Alright guys, if you're enjoying this sort of thing, and you can see how overconfidence can quickly turn around, so the enemy agents just swarmed me. That might be one that's worth trying to fit out our agents. I'll see if I can do that and bring more than one, but it's definitely doable with one. Otherwise I would have remembered it as being harder than it was. But because the enemy agents had Uzis, I was a little bit overconfident and just sort of chucked myself into way too much danger and ended up swarmed. Alright guys, if you're enjoying it, let me know. If you have game suggestions, also let me know. I have a bit of an idea about the next one I want to do, and it is a bit of a jump forward a few years to my first real wow moment in gaming. And it's a bit underwhelming when you look at it now, but yeah, let me know how you're enjoying it, what sort of stuff you'd like to see, and have fun. Catch you later.